Okay, so it's our coordinate geometry question. So we've got 2 points F and G. We have the points for calculate the length of the line FG. So the equation of the line is always the square root of x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. If you'd rather draw the diagram and come up with your right angle triangle and do the Pythagoras, that's fine. But it's just easier to use this formula, really. You call one of these x1, y1, and the other one x2, y2, and you go from there. So let's make my substitutions. Let's go with x1. Well, actually, let's call that x2. Why not? And y2. And then we'll go with x1 and y1. So we get FG equals the square root of x2, which is 8, minus x1, which is 4. So we've got minus 4, so that's plus 4, all squared, plus y2, which is 20, minus 10, all squared. Which gives us the square root of, so that's 12 squared plus 10 squared, which is 244. And it wants it in third form, so if I just root that on my calculator, it's 2 root 61. Okay, find the equation of the line perpendicular to, so there's our first thing, perpendicular to FG. So we need to work out the gradient of FG. And passes through the midpoint of FG. So we also need the midpoint of FG. Okay, so let's try and find the perpendicular gradient first. So the gradient of FG is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so let's go up here. So my x2 and my y2 are these yellow ones, and the pink ones are my y1 and x1. It doesn't matter if you change them around, but as long as you're consistent, you don't want to take, so the first ones have to be from the same pair. You don't want to take 8 or 20 as your y2 and then negative 4 as your x2. They've got to be consistent. Okay, so we can have y2, which is 20, take away 10, all over x2, which is 8, take away negative 4. So we end up with 10 over 12, which is 5/6. Okay, so my gradient of FG is 5/6. Therefore, my perpendicular gradient, which is what we want, is the negative reciprocal of that, so negative 6/5. Okay, so that's the first bit done. Now I'm going to look for this midpoint. Okay, so the midpoint of FG is, well, we're going to add our x's together and divide by 2, and add our y's together and divide by 2. Essentially, we're finding the median of both of them. So x1 plus x2 is 8 plus negative 4. So that's 8 minus 4 over 2. And y is 20 plus 10 over 2 is going to be 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 over 2 is 2. 20 plus 10 is 30. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So we got our midpoint is 15. Okay, so now we've got enough to find the equation of the straight line perpendicular to FG. So we're going to use the equation of the line is going to be y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. So my m is the gradient. And in this case, my x1 and y1 come from the point that lies on the line, which is 215. So we have y minus 15 equals negative 6/5 x minus 2. And we want it in the form ax plus by plus c, where all of them are integers. So, first things first, I'm going to multiply it by the 5. So that will give me 5y minus 75 equals, and that if the 5 has gone, we're left with expanding this bracket by negative 6. So we get negative 6x plus 12. And now what we want is to get them all on the same side and get it equal to 0. So if I make that equal to 0, I can add 6x to both sides. I already got my 5y, and if I take 12 off, I get minus 87. And that's in the format that they wanted.